allow the two
It's okay. It's okay. Off your mind. It's okay. Off your mind.
Chai! Now wow, people wey suppose talk truth to power don off mic. And if we talk, now 500,000 they go sama us, call them hate speech. But fear not, my ego don't come. Him go torchlight every corner, nooks and cranny of all these bad people where they spoil our country. So my people make we laugh, oh, yo, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo, yo. My people make we shout, oh, yo, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo, yo. My ego don't come, man of the masses, oh, yo, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo, yo. My ego diary politico, oh, yo, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo, yo. This one not the off in mind, oh, yo, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo, yo. Can in the touchlight every corner, oh, yo, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo, yo. Okay, some people be they holla say they want the power. Chai, them be promise us say we go get light and power. Nah. Them hustle sote they can't get the power. But now they know they do anything with the power. Sure. Every day, dollar just they get the higher power over naira. Still them talk say make we off mind. But thank God say my ego don't come. So my people make you laugh, oh, yo, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo, yo. My people make we shout, oh, yo, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo, yo. My ego don't come, man of the masses, oh, yo, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo, yo. My ego diary politico, oh, yo, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo, yo. This one not the off in mind, oh, yo, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo, yo. Person where they do evil, no one make person talk. Them say that my egun, that man too they talk. He too they talk. Say my egun diary, he they hot like pepper. But every day then they take money in bulk. Woman picking, they the street they hawk. Still them talk say make we no talk. But thank God say my egun don't come. So my people make you laugh, oh, yo, yo. My egun don't come, oh, yo, yo. My people make you shout, oh, yo, yo. My egun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun diary Nayibi number one. Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun diary Nayibi number one. Mayegun ti dé o ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú. Mayegun diary Nayibi number one. Lórí Facebook lórí YouTube. Mayegun diary Nayibi number one. Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Mayegun já wa sí. Mayegun diary Nayibi number one. Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o. Mayegun diary Nayibi number one. Bó bá ṣe eré àní Mayegun máa wí. Mayegun diary Nayibi number one. Ó sì tún ṣe eré wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o. Mayegun diary Nayibi number one. Mayegun diary politico. Mayegun diary Nayibi number one. Godfatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Mayegun. Mayegun diary Nayibi number one. Ẹ farabalẹ̀ sẹ́ o kẹgọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu o. Mayegun diary Nayibi number one. Àní Mayegun làwa mọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun diary Nayibi number one. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Mayegun ti dé. Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Lórí Facebook. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Lórí YouTube. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Bọ́ bàbá gbé wúrẹ́. Mayegun máa wí. Àní sọ́ra jù. Ijó ìgbádìyẹ. Ayé sọ́ra jù. Presido bá rúfin o. Ayé sọ́ra jù.
Today. Hello there. Good morning to you. Good afternoon to you. And a good evening to you from wherever you are joining us. It is Mayegun live. And thank you once again for tuning in. But remember, as you are joining, after reading the caption of the broadcast, read the description of the broadcast as well, which will give you more, insight into what this is all about. Then, like the broadcast, if you are staying, share it as well. To invite your friends, your not so friendly friends, and tell them to join us. The Mayegun today, and then Mayegun is live. So thank you so much for the 18th time. And from the writer, the tweet of President Donald Trump over the killings of Christians in Nigeria, which is the foundation for all of these developments in Nigeria. The Thiefnubu's government has been in sort of like a panic, shaky mode when the country got designated as the country of particular interest. Now, different characters have been speaking, making their own different, opinions about this. Those who are the genocide deniers, and those who believe that the phrasing of this, policy of the American government, right, is based on or is premised on a very wrong intel that there are more Muslims being killed. So the bottom line then is that, okay, if we agree that the Christians are not the only ones being killed in Nigeria and America, they are wrong to class this sanction, this designation, right, to class it as that of genocide against the Christians. So let's say genocide against the Nigerians. So if the Americans, by the way, who are very convinced that indeed it is religious persecution championed by those in government and those outside the government in Nigeria. So if we all agree that Nigerians are being killed, then we can also all agree, we should all be ready to answer one single question truthfully. Who are those killing these Nigerians? The terrorists, yeah? So if Nigeria is unable to then tame these terrorists, now let's say America now chooses to, like they are planning to, right? Let's say they now choose to say, okay, yeah, we want to take out all these terrorists. Shouldn't the Muslims and the Christians, right, embrace that? But people with their own, suspicion of what America is, they cannot be totally dismissed. But I have said on this platform in the last two series of this conversation, right, that Nigeria does not need America in this kind of situation, right? If Nigeria is not in this type of a situation, right? So if Nigerian government is up to the task and they do not have this lack of political will to go after these terrorists, if that is not the case, like they are indeed doing what they have to do, America won't even feature in it this way, because the weapons they are still going to use in combating these terrorists, right? Some of them still comes from the Americans, right? So therefore, America-Nigeria partnership in this sense would have kind of be more or remain respectful if the Thiefnubu's government, APC, Egbekegbe, if they have not become so compromised enough that terrorists in Nigeria knows that the government is not really looking for them while they are slaughtering Nigerians. So if the government is doing what they have to do, right, showing that, you won't need America at all. But they have failed already. Nigeria is the textbook definition of a failed state, where people exist as government just to serve themselves. No matter the cry of the people are not allowed to express themselves. They are not allowed to protest of any kind. Now that is like the opposite of what a democracy should be. So in this sense, they have refused to take responsibility for the last 48 hours seems to have changed all of that. Not in the sense of combating the problem per se, because they are still doubling down that they have done so well, that they are combating this, they are defeating the terrorists and all of that, and they continue to push their already narrative that no, this is not religious killings. But while they were at it, more Nigerians are still being killed, even as we are watching this video, by these terrorists from Kwara to Katsina to Niger, to Borno, to Kaduna, to Benue, to Plateau State, to all these Middle Belton states. People are still being killed or kidnapped. They are in the news every day. So they are still not showing working. So Donald Trump was asked that when you said if Nigerian government failed to act, that America would not hesitate to put boots on the ground like gun blazing. And he said, yeah, on one of his recent Air Force One flight, he said this.
Do you envisage US boots on the ground or airstrikes?
Could be. I mean, a lot of things I envisage, a lot of things. They're killing record numbers of Christians in Nigeria. And they have other countries very bad also. You know that part of the world, very bad. They're killing the Christians and killing them in very large numbers. We're not going to allow that to happen.
Mr. President, what's going on with Russian assets?
Do you envisage?
So we're not going to let that happen. Reactions have been flowing and floating from left to left, right, and center all over the place. Among them is Asari Dokubon or Asari Dokudumb. Is a former warlord, maybe still a warlord, who is a private security contractor for Nigerian government in carrying out some sinister kind of like a criminal executions of Nigerians across Nigeria in the name of security contracts. His name is Alhaji Asari Dokudumb. All right. So among other people who have been sharing their views, he seemed to have taken it even further, because some are saying that here is something, right? Some are saying that the proposition of America that they are coming to take out these terrorists is not always what it looks like, because America is not going to spend their own money to come and take out your terrorists. You will pay for it. So, for those who knows how, especially Donald Trump, when it comes to deals like this, right, you will pay somehow. So those who are skeptical that if America says they are coming to help you fight your terrorists and clear them out, so they will likely build a base where they are going to call their operational base. And in that regard, they may begin to tap into your natural resources to pay for their soldiers who are going to help you take out your terrorists. And for a country like Nigeria, who is believed supposedly to be a superpower, not that kind of superpower, like one of the biggest economies in Africa, right? That is an insult. America could go into a partnership with Nigeria government or Nigeria military in order to take out these terrorists in a more partnership way than what Donald Trump is proposing. But others have also said that it is not that Americans and others have not been working with Nigerian military for the past decade in the name of fighting this terrorism. But they also have the record that the Nigerian military entire structure has become so compromised that even intels that are meant to be very, very, protected ended up being shared with the terrorists, which seem to have kind of like strained the relationship between Nigeria and some of these foreign partners when it comes to them like fighting this terrorism. So they have their record. So if America is going to help you combat your terrorists, then you will pay for it. And if you are going to pay for it, you are not going to be the one to decide what and what to pay. However, the likes of Asari Dokudumb, before Asari, there are others who says, in this sense, if America does not get the permission of Nigeria to enter the territory of Nigeria in doing what they want to do, that is going to be called an invasion. And that invasion means Nigerians will be recruited, drafted to defend their country. you will be drafted to defend Nigeria. So when somebody threw that out there, right, and people started reacting, there were Nigerians who were saying, it be like saying, "Oh, they're mad. If tomorrow America is invading Nigeria, that they will volunteer to fight for America in helping to invade Nigeria." There are Nigerians who are also in the American military, who are also on this social media, who have volunteered to say they won't mind to go and help take care of these terrorists. And you see this misinformation and disinformation, most of them, are deliberate. So let us be clear before we go further now. Donald Trump's messages are very kind of like clear. Do something about these terrorists, or we will do something. There is nowhere in the Donald Trump or any of Americans' proposition that they are invading Nigeria. So there is no point in expecting Nigerians to get arms and then they'll be ready to kill Americans whenever they see them, because that simply means Nigerians are the terrorists, or Nigerians are, in fact, they are fighting to protect the terrorists. You understand? Like, if you, in that sense, so like this misinformation, disinformation, those who are deliberately telling you, talking about America invading you, they are doing so because that is how they can get you on their side, no matter what. Some are even saying, maybe in Thiefnubu they orchestrate this, so that when America invade Nigeria, they keep using the word invade Nigeria, right? So it will just be like Russia and Ukraine. So Thiefnubu there will be no elections. So Thiefnubu will just be your president until the war is over, something like that. You see, those who are pushing these narratives, they are taking your mind away from the real deal. There are thousands of armed terrorists operating across Nigeria. And the government of Nigeria have shown so much collusion, protection, in fact, for these terrorists than they are for you. Now, this is the bone of contention before Donald Trump, America, and all that, right? Your government have a special place for the Fulani terrorists, Boko Haram, and the rest of them than the place they have for you. They are the victims of the terrorism who are now living in IDP camps after being chased away tens or hundreds of kilometers away from their own ancestral lands. You see, all of this deliberately, is what they want you to take your mind off and begin to think that America is coming to come and bomb Dangote refinery. It's coming to come and take a crude oil in rivers. They want to use this or that. The bone of contention is that over 20 million Nigerians are living in refugee camps across Nigeria today, courtesy the escalated terrorism in Nigeria. Whether they have external support, the external factor, internal factor, it is the job of the government to be honest with you, and you must actually see them that they are being honest with you. But this government, these guys, they do not give a shit. You know it. Rather, we have seen them obnob, party with the same terrorists. Don't pretend that you have not been seeing all of that. That is not something that should be encouraging for you to say, America shouldn't, or, I don't know how you put it. These are not normal. They are not. So the responsibility of making sure that this never even happened in the first place, or it is totally cleaned out or cleaned up, is that of your government. And so far, so good. It is just break back left, right, and center. So Thiefnubu and this gang, they said, oh, no, this issue will be resolved. In fact, it was Daniel Bulaba who said it. Daniel Bulaba said, that is Daniel Buala. He said, immediately, I don't know why he got all of that, like who gave him the authority to say anything like that. The next thing he said, oh, Donald Trump and Thiefnubu are going to meet, the two leaders are going to meet very soon. You know something? Because they still feel like they could use propaganda to kind of like turn this around. You get that? Without doing anything different from what they are already doing that kept Nigeria, brought Nigeria to this level. Lies after lies after lies. So they said, oh, Thiefnubu is going to travel to Washington Then they withdrew that. They said, no, it's not traveling to Washington. Rather, because initially they said, Tinubu is going to travel to Washington and he's going to meet J.D. Vance, Donald Trump's advice. But there was something like that. But they put that in the media. Then immediately they withdrew that. They said, no, it's not. In fact, Thiefnubu and Trump, they are going to meet at the next G20 in South Africa. They forgot that there is already a statement out as far back as September that Donald Trump would not be attending the G20 in South Africa. Right? But they put that out. Which means in their own efforts, they are struggling to control the media narrative. At the same time, they are very much worried what is going to happen next. Are they just going to see the next tweet you are going to get from Donald Trump is going to say, oh, we carried out 16 perfect, sweet execution, bombing of some terrorists across Nigeria. Maybe that's going to be what he's going to tell us next. Even Nigerian government, they don't know. They have not been able to get any access, even to Donald Trump's administration as we speak. Nigeria has not been able to get access to the government of America, despite this whole escalated thing. They've got no one in right now, other than the media, talking into the cloud, talking into the crowd, and the rest of that. That's what they are doing right now. You would think, oh, there should be some diplomatic going on behind the scene. There is nothing concrete. It seems like Donald Trump and his government in America, they've actually concluded whatever they wanted to do. In my own opinion, based on what is still available. However, Asari Dokudumb has issued a threat based on this available information to him that America is coming. And his own threat is that Nigeria will be their graveyard. Every American soldier that lands in Nigeria. Asari Dokudumb is a warlord. He had kidnapped Americans before for ransom during the Niger Delta militancy. So today he is a king in Rivers State. However, from that position, using the social media like he's done in the past, right? With the protection of Thiefnubu, I believe, okay, he issued these threats. Okay, and we're going to leave it on record. There are many, many other stuff I have for you tonight. So as you are joining, remember, like the broadcast, share it, and sit back, relax, and then engage. The first part, Asari, and it's a first threat.
Let them come. Let Trump come with his America, and with you people, you all die. This lunatic. He wants to annex Canada. He wants Iceland. He wants to kill the president of Venezuela. He wants to kill the supreme leader of Iran. He wants to finish up Yemen. This sick lunatic. And that's why when they talk about America is a sick country. A country of mad people. Insane people. And that's why they can elect a mad, insane idiot. A lunatic. That's why they can elect a lunatic as their president. That's why they can elect a lunatic as their president. South Africa is committing genocide against white. This one. But he cannot see the genocide in Congo. He cannot see the genocide in Gaza. He cannot see the genocide in Sudan. South Africa is committing genocide against white. Nigeria genocide against Christian. He wants Iceland. He wants to annex Canada. He wants to kill the president of Venezuela. He wants the president of Colombia should never step foot on American soil. Who wants to step foot on American soil? What's there for me to go and see in America? What is there for me to go and see in America? I thank God, Tony, Biafra can stand without a job. Thank God. So please, let us sit down. Let us give these Igbo people their country. Let us give them let them go. What are they doing in Lagos? What are they doing in other people's land? Let them just go. Come to Nigeria, you die in Nigeria. Maricon, agency, you will die in Nigeria. Let Trump and you people come. That one will assure you, you people will die here. It will be your graveyard. Nigeria will be your graveyard. Everybody knows that people are being killed left, right, and center in Nigeria. This is not a lie. But is it Muslim? Is it Muslim? Is it Christian? I'm a Muslim. Who is in the oasis of non-Muslim? Non-Muslims. What I am today, I was not made by Muslims. What I am today, I was made by non-Muslims. You people talk too much. Let them come.
The more you look, the less you see. The more.
Asari was a warlord. He's got his own army in Nigeria. And I bet the Americans also have his, his details. And as Nigeria is right now, as lawless as Nigeria is, somebody like Asari is allowed to amass weapons, different kind of weapons, and also exploit the impoverished, jobless young people as his own soldiers. He operates across Nigeria. Yeah. His other colleague is the biggest pipeline pipeline security contractor in that same creek. So it is what Nigeria is. So when Nigeria finally kind of breaks apart, everybody will have to go and deal with their own thugs and the amount of guns in their possession. So there is an effort, by the way, not just by random people. I am talking about people from government in Nigeria to turn this whole thing into blaming the Igbos. In case if you have not been coming across that, it is already happening. The government of Nigeria, they have stylishly told their own base that the campaign for the genocide going on in Nigeria is sponsored by the Igbos. You know, Nigeria have a problem, and we have all agreed, I believe, and that problem is the Igbo problem. You see, when these rogues who grab power and flex with that power, those who have shared the supposed resources of the land, the Commonwealth, our Commonwealth among themselves, who have privatized every supposed opportunity in that country, whenever they now fail in their greed and all that, and they have no one to blame, then they blame the Igbos. So they are currently saying that the campaign that got Donald Trump's attention, right, is sponsored by the IPOB, because they are the ones who have been tagging Donald Trump, tagging American lawmakers about the killings in Nigeria, and they have not been tagging Donald Trump with the killings of Muslims. Now, listen to this. If Asari Dokudumb is upset that Donald Trump is a Gallomaniac or Donald Trump is a bully, as he wanted this, he wanted that, he's done that. It is the same thing as a deviation from the real thing. Why is Asari not upset that they are killing Muslims too? Why has Asari never shown his anger over the killings of the Muslims in Nigeria until yesterday, when he had to make a video, as angry as he is, to threaten the United States Army that if they come to Nigeria, they will die? Is Asari saying that he will sponsor the killings of the US Army in Nigeria in defense of the terrorists who are also killing Muslims? Or Asari is saying that he would mobilize to kill every American soldier in Nigeria simply because they are coming to kill the terrorists killing Christians, not the ones killing Muslims? Because I want to understand the basis for it. So those of you who are really upset, you can put yourself in the same shoes like Asari and ask yourself the same question. What exactly are you angry about? The America is a bully, Donald Trump is a bully, and all of that stuff. But the killings that you see in that country every day, the mass burial that you witness every week, especially in those red zones and all that, as well as the romantic relationship between the supposed government and the government officials, as well as the government officials and these terrorists, throwing it on your face. All these things, are they not really like bothering for you? Now, if you accept that, they are killing people, we are killing everybody, so that's what we should do, would you agree, or would you say, if American has said there is a genocide against Nigerians by the Islamic terrorists in Nigeria, would you be okay with that? To see that as a genuine reason for Nigeria to actually get help? We have seen videos of women, children in the middle of the night trekking and running away from their homes. Those are survivors. Then we have seen communities burned down. We have seen, powerless people, like vulnerable people, burned in their properties, killed by these barbarians, right? And we haven't really seen sort of like a damages inflicted on them successively, like multiple of that, to show to them that, this is not acceptable. But we haven't seen all of that. So what makes you upset? Or what makes Asari upset? So Asari and others, they are doing their best right now to deviate it and begin to make you feel like the killings is not that bad. Okay? And America should mind their business, which is okay. You can tell America to mind their business. Mind your business. However, that will be when you know that terrorism is not being sort of like industrialized in Nigeria. We cannot tell ourselves the truth and stop pretending or hiding behind all these false deviations or false reasons to put out our own outrage. Outrages that most of it are just like a hard mentality. Everybody is angry. This one, the person. If Mayegun says this thing is bad, I agree with him. Or if Mayegun says this thing is good, I agree with him. Hard mentality. You say reason now. Look at everything going on. They want you to feel like it's okay. That they are killing people and so. But let us just continue to pray. They want you to get used to it without doing anything. And guess what? Getting used to it is not something that you will probably like escape. It means you can be a victim anytime too. Just anytime. Right? So Asari Dokudumb threatening American soldiers that ever touches Nigeria, right, is based on what? It's based on exactly that Nigerians are not being killed and Nigerian government is not doing anything about it to protect you. I'll let him finish so that we'll keep it on record. Sorry, finish. Others are also blaming politicians, the opposition, but we'll come back to that one.
You people talk too much. Don't worry, we are waiting. We always tell you, we don't just talk, we perform. We don't just come, we perform. In an oasis of non-Muslim, I became secretary of the first convention of Ijaw Youth Council, organizing secretary of the first convention of this thing. I became the secretary to organize the first convention of IYC in Abonima. I became the first vice president, the first deputy president, and the second president. It's an honor Ijaw people had given me. Tony, let them come now. Allow the Americans to come. Which America? We are growing up. We said 12 days war. How many days war had gone? We will finish. We will do this. The world is waiting. The world is waiting. The monopoly in science and so on by one group of people is gone. We have entered a new era where everybody hides is open. So many empires had risen. We saw the Egyptian empire, we saw the Greece empire, we saw the Roman empire, we saw Persia, we even saw the Muslim empire. They all fell. Maybe Trump is the coroner for the fall of the American empire. Maybe Trump is the coroner for the fall of the American empire. This man just stand up, he stands up, when he wakes up, he just says, whatever. Are we talking of Muslims or am I not a Muslim? Nnamdi, am I not a Muslim? Let them not say most Christians have been killed. More Muslims have died in Nigeria than Christians. A group of evil people are killing people. And some of us had made effort. Yes, Daniel, I plan to fight America. Daniel, Jerry, yes, I plan to fight them. Are they not human beings like us? When the time comes, you know whether we'll be able to engage you know whether we'll be able to engage America if they will live here. Let them come down. Maybe they'll fly in the air. They will come down. When they come down, whether they will live here. I think their own, if one person die, it pains them so much.
Tear gas him. They tear gas him. He fell. He fainted. He passed out. He passed out. 70 years old man. How many times would they tell you before you know that Nigeria is not for you? Ah! Now they never leave you. They have left you behind. Photo, not be juju be that.
So, Asari Dokudumb repeatedly in that live broadcast told the Americans that if they touch down in Nigeria, they will not live alive. And that's a very strong statement for those of you who probably knows how Americans act, Abby. But so far so good, there is no threat against Nigeria. There is no threat of invasion against Nigeria. Now, how Nigerian rogues handles this is what will determine where this is headed. You are not Venezuela. You are not Iran. You are not Gaza. You are not all these places. The Thiefnubu and this gang have been given just one simple advice. Get rid of these terrorists, or we will get rid of them. So that shouldn't be something that these headless, rats will begin to take turns in spewing their own gibberish. There's another one. His name is for Food Kayode, somebody who was under Bokuwari, very vocal, and at the same time very vicious in his attacks against the Bokuwari's government, simply because we all remembered how Bokuwari's government shielded this Fulani terrorist from prosecution, right? And the killings recorded in the Middle Belt under Bokuwari that was so massive that it turned Benue State, which was at the food basket of Nigeria, it turned it into the graveyard center of Nigeria under Bokuwari. For Food Kayode, FFK was very much present, like I said, vicious on social media in exposing these religious killings, genocide. But immediately after Bokuwari, he became friends with the Patawale. Then he became friends with the likes of, what's that guy's name again? It's Sapatantami. Yeah. So, and then he became a Fulani party and he started denying these killings and he became their mouthpiece. So when America came up, Donald Trump used to be his hero, which is kind of like praised a million times until now. Right now, Donald Trump is like a demon. So for Food Kayode, FFK, the man that they said that all you have to do is give him food. He will sing for you. Maybe he's singing here.
You're different by an entity that is being propelled and being used by the children of perdition and those that love to shed blood. Anybody that is a victim of those people, we must join forces with such people and condemn. Therefore, the Americans that tell us that in Nigeria we have Christian genocide, they forget that yes, Christians are being mass murdered by a group of people that are from another world entirely. But the Muslims are also being killed by them. And this does not in any way diminish the fact that we are suffering as Christians. What it means is that we're sensitive to the fact that all Nigerians, all our brothers and sisters, are being tormented, are being genocided, are being killed, are being slaughtered by a force that is being propelled by Satan and is being armed by the very Americans that are claiming to be our friends. And I say that again, are being armed and funded and aided and abetted by the very same American deep state that claim to be concerned about us and our friends. Why do I say so? I'll end with this. Why do I say so? I'm saying some pretty controversial things. I hope I haven't upset anybody here. And I hope that you won't invite me again. But I just have to say them. Why do I say so? Have you forgotten just a few weeks ago, a few months ago, when a member of the House in America, a member of Congress, got up and said that US aid was one of those that was funding Boko Haram in Nigeria? Have you forgotten in 2014, when President Johnson was in power, and the Americans not only refused to sell us arms to fight Boko Haram, they also banned other countries from supplying arms to us and said that they should leave us on our own to fight them? Have you forgotten what? Why would they do that? Have you forgotten the fact that again, between 2010 and 2014, up until I think 2015, the Americans refused to designate Boko Haram as a terrorist organization. The same Boko Haram that was going from house to house, slaughtering our people, morning, day and night. They left us on our own. And let me tell you, in case you have any illusions about this issue, nobody, I've done my homework. The Americans are not helping us to fight the terrorists today. The Israelis are not helping us. The West are not helping us. They may say they're sending advisors here and there. We are on our own. But you know what? God is great and mighty and awesome in battle. Because the God of Nigeria, the God that has kept us as one, the God that has fought our battle, the God that has lifted up our heads and caused us to wax strong in battle, has fought this battle for us. We are killing hundreds of thousands of these militants, of these terrorists every day. But you know what? The policy is to keep it as quiet as possible. But they are being killed. So lose not hope. That's the message. Lose not hope. Remain one, united as one. Let no one divide our ranks. Find your fellow brother Muslims. Hug them and hold them dear. And I call on the Muslims to do the same. Then we go together as you're different.
Nuisance Lele. Nuisance Lele.
That's for food Kayode. They are everywhere. You know what? We are on our own. We are killing these terrorists every day, thousands of them. But we just don't want to tell you. We don't want to tell any of you. So keep it quiet. So the God of Nigeria, the God that we serve, we will call on this God. But they are even doing the unity begging again. You know, we are all one. We are one country. We are brothers and sisters. I say, yeah? Are we? Say, yes, now we are brothers and sisters. We are the same. Hang on, are we? No, I don't mean it like that, but you know, America says they want to come and invade us. Let us become brothers and sisters for now. When America goes away, we can begin to tell ourselves to go back to wherever we come from, and we begin to say, that's what I'm saying. That's what you will say. Which one is we are the same thing? When did we become the same thing? Have we forgotten that some people are more Nigerians than the others? Some people will never become anything that others doesn't want them to become in that contraption. So here you get. So now that America wants to come and bomb us, okay, maybe we are now brothers. Are we brothers and sisters? Really? Say, I know we are not brothers and sisters, but let us pretend now so that we can face Americans. We are brothers and sisters. That's what people are saying. Instead of you are asking for brothers and sisters, unity beggars, pretending that we can become one now because the BC want you to prepare for civil war. Something that ordinarily they are asking you to come and defend terrorists who are actually killing you. And if you can help them to chase these American threats away, so you can go back to running from the terrorists. Brother. About AK-47, I'll find out. Some people are already saying it. The Nigerians must get ready. Nigerians must come together. We must shake. Okay. Give us guns to go and fight America. I will find out whether we are brothers and sisters or not. It doesn't matter. Discover a lot of people just need motivation. Everything break. Day your day, everybody hold their own side. Because the foundation of all of this as well is not just the terrorists, it is the ideology. Do you understand? Have you listened to the Islamic Student Association of Nigeria? I've been an Islamic Foundation of, I don't know what they call them. The Islamic of Nigeria, these are the religious people who are in charge of Islam in Nigeria. Have you listened to the anthem before? All of you, the GSSI, have you long paying time here? Listen to this. It is not just the terrorists that you are seeing now, because majority of them are actually raised with this mentality.
I place to Islam my religion, to be faithful, loyal and honest, to serve Islam with all my power. And I pray for Allah's assistance. I have testified that there is no God. I have testified that there is no God. There is no God except Allah. And Muhammad Rasulullah. I have promised to be a Muslim. I have promised to help Islam. I have promised to work for Islam, so that I may gain internal bliss. Oh, you brothers, jihad is calling. Oh, you brothers, jihad is calling. Oh, you sisters, jihad is calling. So that we may gain internal bliss. We want Quran as constitution. want Quran as constitution. We want Hadith as constitution. We want no more except the theories. Human theories are barbaric. Human theories are barbaric. Human theories are aimless theories. We want Quran as constitution, inshallah.
What shall I say unto the Lord?
Yes, Lord.
All I have to say,
Thank you, Lord.
What
shall I say? Thank you,
Thank you, Lord. Ish. I was a Muslim student, MSS student. I possibly sang that song, but I didn't even understand it. But from northern Nigeria, it is the true indoctrination. They do one Nigeria. They are raising children. They are raising population. That made them believe that Quran is more superstitious than the constitution of the country. And they want it as theirs. They sang it from childhood, from, jihad to them is the fight for Allah and anything that should be done. They have been indoctrinated from the childhood. That's why you see a lot of them on social media today, educated. But they will be telling you that education is just human theory. It is the Hadith. It is the Quran. And if you don't like it, it is your problem. In a country that is a secular country. MSS students. Some of you probably sang it. In fact, you probably never knew, the deepness of it. They crafted that in Arabic. It is when you now interpret it, that's what it tells you. Millions of children are being born and being raised with that mindset in Nigeria. So you wondering, why did the politicians continue to sign laws as Sharia? Why are they as educated as they are in Nigeria of today? They are promoting Sharia to cut people's hands, to stone people to death, to sentence people to death for blasphemy. Where is that coming from? You're asking yourself right now. Millions were indoctrinated that is what should be done. Their own idea of Nigeria is different from your own idea of Nigeria. How do you think that's going to work? A young man who is a soldier gave his own experience a while back, being a patriotic Nigerian and with other Nigerian soldiers. What happened to him? Listen.
This afternoon, I'm an ex-soldier, Sandra.
Oh,
so
good.
it's just the Nigerian soldiers,
Yeah.
Sandra.
Yeah.
I was in the battalion.
Okay.
And we were fighting Boko Haram, Sandra.
Okay.
We went to war.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a left-handed person.
Okay.
So I'm a sniper. I was one of the best sniper.
Okay.
So I was shooting. No morale. Nothing. No pay. No means of communication to my family. My father thought I was dead.
Oh.
I was fighting. I was shooting. One of our soldiers shot me, Sandra, on my ribs.
Oh, my
Sandra.
God.
Shot me on my ribs. They said in Hausa, it means that I kill people too much. I was fighting, Sandra. They shot a woman and her daughter. I was trying to save her second child, Sandra. I was running. They shot me, Sandra. I was barely breathing. It takes the grace of God for me to survive.
No, I'm sorry. They shot you on purpose?
They shot me on purpose. They say I too they kill people. They said in Hausa,
I don't understand what that means. You they kill people. What does that mean?
It means I kill Boko Haram too much, Sandra, because I was one of the best snipers, Sandra. I don't miss my shots. I'm a left-handed. I don't miss my shots. That's what they said. No morale, nothing. No pay. Sometimes. No pay, Sandra. We just fight. They need to investigate them, Sandra.
Did you retire? Did you retire?
Sandra, I resigned.
Okay.
I wrote a letter and I resigned. I don't want to do the job again. I don't want to serve the land again. I don't want. It's really, really pathetic, Sandra, in that army. There's a lot of fraud things happening in the army, Sandra. I don't know. Seriously. They need to investigate the Nigerian army, Sandra. A lot of things. You see, when people are fighting, they're killing Boko Haram, Sandra, somebody from nowhere will just shoot and just kill the best shooter there. Just for him to die, because maybe they are gaining from there economically. For him to just die and to stop shooting. people for there. They shot
That's
two
a
of my
very
friends, two of them,
strong
they died.
allegation. You're making very strong allegations.
It is true. They shot two of my friends. I will send you evidence. I follow you on Twitter. I will send you evidence. They shot two of my friends. They are dead now, Sandra. They shoot you. You will go. These people gain. I'm telling you. I'm an ex-soldier. I will tell you. I will send you evidence, Sandra. That's what is happening.
And guess what? That's a soldier that is no longer in Nigeria and then phoned into a program in that place. There are hundreds of that same story. But we are not talking about, this just so you have an idea of how corrupt and compromised the same military that was supposed to protect you. And what makes this fight against Boko Haram more, and then all these terrorists that you are witnessing today, are almost like impossible to win. They are not impossible to win. It's just that they are not actually really planning to win them. Everybody is using that to cash out it their own way. And right now that America is talking about it, suddenly they want you to be patriotic. Don't join them. You are supposed to be patriotic. So like, explain that to me like I'm 5-year-old, please. I should be patriotic to those who have control over my life and could take the life anytime. And my government will probably throw a political party meeting or political party gathering the next hour. Like, that never happened. Like, how can I be patriotic that way? People are not stupid except those who chose to be. With what we have today. Yeah. They are still not doing anything. No. They are pushing left, right, and center. Because they believe that they are talking to stupid people. They are not doing anything at all to convince people and say, hey, let's show you. Over 11 million people. In fact, hang on. When they came in, they used these displaced people, the number to campaign. It's still out there. If you check the social media. They said, how could Nigeria allow over 10 million people displaced by Boko Haram? No, sorry. Over 1 million people displaced by Boko Haram. By the time Boko Haram was leaving, the number of displaced people has crossed over 20 million. Same thing with the out of school children. Because as more people are getting displaced, children no longer have to go to school. They end up in the refugee camps in their own country. Some people are trying to politicize this instead of them to come together and bond together and speak in one voice, the blah, the blah, the blah. How can you speak in one voice with the rogues who don't give a damn about the lives of their own people? They don't. Right. So going forward, they are trying to tell you that some people are trying to set Nigeria on fire. And you shouldn't fall for this trick twice, because some group of people, in fact, they didn't even use group of people because it's them. They said, you remember that's what American did to Nigeria under Jonathan? Say, yeah, I remember. Yeah, they stopped us from defeating Boko Haram. They stopped selling weapons to us. They stopped other countries, the blah, the blah, the blah. Say, yeah, I remember. I remember then. And in fact, I even remember the government that did it. It was Democrat government in America, where you had, Hillary Clinton, Barack Obama, who is the president, Joe Biden, who was the vice at the time, and a couple of them like that, including John Kerry, who was pretty much interested in the 2015 elections, that when he arrived in Nigeria, after the postponement of the election, and John Kerry came to Nigeria, he did not meet the president of the country. He went on to go and meet Boko Haram, the opposition, Thiefnubu and others. That was how much America got involved. And yeah, to stop Nigeria from defeating Boko Haram. But who are those who did that? They are the people in power right now. So they are afraid that they're going to use the same sword on them. And right now they want Nigerians to please help them resist. But these guys went to America. They went to go and talk to Barack Obama to help them arrest Goodluck Jonathan. Yeah. That is why what is going on in Nigeria right now If this your opposition, Obi, Atiku, and the rest of them, if they were to be like this Thiefnubu, APC, Ebekebe, they would have milked it. They are begging you for unity right now. Oh, damn, unity. These guys went to America. That, apart from telling America to place this embargo on Nigeria, they said Jonathan is using Boko Haram to reduce the population of the North so as to keep himself in power. America should not sell him weapons because he will use the weapons on his opposition. And Barack Obama approved that. Embargo was placed on Nigeria. These guys were practically living inside the Oval Office in America. Like they were so welcomed everywhere. These APC criminals, these terrorists too. Barack Obama gave them that much. They got so much access. The company said they live inside the Oval Office against their country. And I don't remember anybody telling them that they were working against their own country to the detriment of their own people. Right? But right now they are trying to create an imaginary, sort of like enemies from the opposition who are trying to politicize this. If you think I am lying, right? Listen to this interview with Adeola Fayewu on Sahara Reporters.
And you came just to make sure that they arrest President Jonathan. But why was he not arrested in Nigeria? Why is it that America has to do it?
Because he has immunity. And the American government went to arrest Noriega from Nicaragua. So it's easier for them now he's here. So let them just arrest him here. And you can't even arrest a governor in Nigeria. They have immunity. But in America, he has no immunity. And I pray they will arrest him.
And you want him jailed here or take him back to Nigeria to be tried?
Well, I would want him to be jailed anywhere. First of all, to be tried. I would want him to be tried. And if he's found not guilty, he should be acquitted and discharged. But if he's found guilty, I would want him to spend the prison term in Kirikiri.
Nigeria.
Nuisance, Lele.
He later became one of the big wigs in APC because he was part of them. They were co-travelers. That's just a tip of how much these guys milked the Boko Haram terrorism, which they were sponsoring. That's a story for another day, but somehow they think everybody started following politics in 2023. Oh, okay. Some of you probably started following politics in 2023. And that is why you will see some of these Thiefnubu and his co-travelers, right? They seem to be believing that those they are talking to, they have no real memory. They are probably kids or stupid. Yeah? They went all over the place to ensure that Nigeria, even if Nigeria was going to sink, to the point where they threatened to set up a parallel government and give Jonathan the Gbagbo treatment. Go and read about Gbagbo treatment right now. Yeah, do it. Gbagbo treatment. That's what they wanted to give Jonathan. They would beat him out of the Aso Rock. There will be a huge revolution, such that Nigerian army or the rest of them won't be able to contain. And the guy just said, you know what? I don't think it's actually it's worth it. All right, come and take it, take it. Then they took Nigeria back 50 years. And if Nigerians ever complain, they have their soldiers out to shoot and kill you. So the point there is that who are they doing it for? To protect the terrorists? Because APC is the terrorist. They are the sponsor of terrorism in Nigeria. The day APC dies, the day the wool over your eyes will clear. I promise you. Yeah? It is the day APC dies and the remnant of APC is completely destroyed. That's when you will see what they have done. And that is why they will do everything possible that if they are going to go down, Nigeria will have to go down with them. Now, that's up to you. I'm okay with either. So you get. Yeah, if they go down and they will bring Nigeria down, they've already divided Nigeria, divided Nigerians. Nigerians have never been this divided, ever. Nigerian first civil war came back from that. The genocidal, war then, right? Then Nigeria came back and they pretended that everything was fine. No winner, no vanquish, until APC came and reminded everybody that now here you belong. You, Nigeria, you belong. The rest of you here. So everybody started kind of marking their own territory. No thanks to APC. So if they go down and they take Nigeria down with them, it's kind of like all right by me, you know, because last, everybody will finally come to that time and say, you know what, may everybody they go their separate ways. Now, may not be the time where they will carry gun, give all of us, say, we'll go fight America, and now we go turn the guns on ourselves and say, oh, we'll go finish them. Anybody will survive. They will be those ones who will tell the story. Thorough. America is coming. Yeah, that is the one that whether Asari Dokudumb and his co-travelers keeps trying to twist and turn the whole thing in, they are coming. You've heard about the Paul Adefarasi. Now you are about to hear about Wale Adefarasi. Among those who are now using the church, again, this is how they get church involved in this their misinformation, misleading, so that the meaning of establishment can be truly, defined. Okay. I have told you before that when you talk about government, that's about some people who form government. But governments, or those who form government, who are like at the top of the pie, okay? The real big fat pie that makes up the establishment comprises of more than just the politicians. You have career civil servants who are criminals. You have private sectors who are criminals. You have private sector, players. You have religious bodies who are a bunch of rogues, criminals. Everybody's got their own job, well defined for them, and how to ensure that they assert their control or influence on the number of people that look up to them. So therefore, if you have a church GO that comes on to tell this church that the Lord told me that this is what is going to happen, by trying to twist what is already political to spiritual, and then tells his people that this is how I want you to think, or this is how I would like you to react, they use that position to assert the control. And as part of the establishment, they get their own little cut of the pie. For instance, they could spend all of their tithes as much as they want. They could do money laundering for as long as they want. All they have to keep to is to make sure that they continue to tell their own flock, their own sheepies, that everything will be fine if they can pray and fast and listen to them. Here is one, informing his own congregation with tears that they had to clap for him at the end of the day because they believed him.
About one of the raging challenges that is facing our nation at this time. For the over 40 years that I have been a Christian, there have been killings in southern Kaduna, killings on the plateau. There have been riots. Sometimes, I think it was in France, an image of Prophet Muhammad was defaced. Who remembers that? And as a result of that, there were killings of Christians in Nigeria. And so it's nothing new. It doesn't amount to genocide. The way the West are talking about it, it's as if a Christian steps on the street, his head will be blown off. And I'm trying to understand this sudden love for Christians. Is it because we now have one of the largest refineries in the world and no longer have to ship raw materials abroad and bring the finished products? Or is it because of the 21st century minerals that we now have in our earth that are used to generate nuclear power, for electric vehicles? Are those the reasons that our friends are threatening to invade our country to defend and protect Nigerian Christians? Selah.
In our pastor, what do you call them? All these are fake people. You see how he quickly twisted it. And did you see the part where he said, it is not new? They have been killing Christians in Nigeria with that calmness. He's a pastor. Are you with me? I bet he would never be that calm if half of his own congregation on Sunday are killed on one Sunday. It won't be that calm again. Trust me, because Nigeria is a place where majority of those who will either deny these killings or downplay it, they are those who are living far, far, far away from the red zones where people are being killed, simply in churches, in all these places. So now a pastor that faced his own congregation and downplayed the killings of Christians. Did you see the candor at which is, it was like, that is not. How many of you remember when they drew the cartoon of Prophet Muhammad and they were killing Christians? It's not new. What I don't know is the sudden love for the Christians. He doesn't love Christians. He's a businessman. Is there a businessman, a pulpit bandit? There are many in that contraption. Pulpit bandits. So somebody who is not really moved, he's probably never, probably never talked about these killings of Christians ever until Donald Trump is talking about coming and all that. All these guys, right? So to him, it is not new. They are killing everybody, but we are praying God protection is over you here, don't you? Do you understand? I've prayed to God, you are safe. Say, amen. Mad people. And there are more maddest people. One of them is the governor of Anambra State. In order to make Nigeria probably in order for him to sound more or less like a supportive of Thiefnubu's illegitimate regime, Soludumb has added a bit of a bit of a twist to the whole thing now. According to him, there is also Christian genocide going on in the eastern part of Nigeria. When they are doing Black Lives Matter in America, Africa, did Africa invade America when they are doing Black Lives Matter? No, this is a state governor in the eastern part of Anambra State. So according to him, there is no Christian genocide in Nigeria except the Christian genocide in eastern Nigeria. Just because you want to sound good. Or sound what exactly? Soludumb.
To what happened, what the President of America, Donald Trump, tweeted or put out on social media. A lot of people thought that was some heavy bilateral or some kind of comment on our governance and security situation in the country, politically speaking and diplomatically speaking. How do you think Nigeria should react to that?
Well, as I was saying before we cut off, the first thing is that there's bilateral issue. And quite frankly, when you see something on social media, I'd rather be in government now, not react very seriously to tweets or social media posts, as it were. But let me do say it's about relationship between Nigeria and America. And the relationship between both countries is governed by international law. And I'm not quite sure what would be the basis of American intervention and so on and so forth. As the policeman come and enforce what and so on. Yeah, certainly, if Nigeria requests, it will be a request for any assistance or military or whatever that it would deem it necessary to request for their technology and hardware, soft power to deal with anything, insurgents and banditry and so on and so forth. So be it. But it's within Nigeria's law. I'm not quite sure anybody would. I mean, if you have policemen killing some blacks. I remember the massive Black Lives Matter protests in America and so on. And somebody would say, maybe Africa should go and invade America because blacks are being killed in America. I'm not quite sure that is the way that goes. I think there is cause for deeper conversation. It must end in conversation. There will air their views, and I'm sure the federal government of Nigeria will be able to respond very robustly on behalf of Nigeria. Nigeria is such a big country as well. I'm pretty convinced that Nigeria is doing quite a whole lot to safeguard their lives and their property. And like I said before, this conversation about banditry and killings and so on requires deeper national conversation and introspection. In this part of the world, Eastern Bloc, where 90-something% Christians, and the insurgents that were first here and around the southeast, it's Christians and Christians. It's the people in the bushes and so on, killing, kidnapping others. They are called Christians. Some bear the names Christian, Emmanuel, Peter, James, John, and so on and so on. So it's much wider than this categorization of Christian, Muslim, but I mean, I'm always an optimist. Nigeria has
nuisance, Lele.
Very sorry about the audio. It was very poor audio. Sorry about that. So this is what they are doing. They are dropping sound bites into the conversation and see which of them is going to probably stick so that they can begin to push that narrative. And most of the narrative they are pushing now is like pushing everything into the Eastern Nigeria. They want to say, oh, it is the Igbos that reported to Trump and brought Nigeria under this thing, not because of Thiefnubu's failure to protect lives of Nigerians, okay? So then another thing is that, oh, there are also killings, more Christian killings in Eastern Nigeria. And then you can ask them that, oh, hang on, are those Christians that are killing Christians shouting in the name of Jesus? Like those terrorists are shouting, Allah Akbar, Allah Akbar, Allah, that you can now label them Christian terrorists. Politicians will do all they can to at least deviate from the whole thing, change the narrative, as long as it is going to politically benefit them. That's what Soludumb was doing. But for a journalist, here is the view of Akpati. He called Donald Trump a global dictator that believes more or less like everything people have called him before. He's a bully, he's a this or that, still ignoring the basic thing. If Thiefnubu or APC, if they have protected Nigeria and Nigerians, this is never going to be an issue. Like, it's never going to pop up, is it? But here is Akpati.
It's very surprising. Under President Trump, there's been a lot of contradictions. President Trump has upended the American foreign policy process. Now, where does he derive that power from? For him to declare war or an invasion of a country, he will need to get the approval of Congress. I'm not too sure that Congress, which is divided between Republicans and Democrats, will give him the approval to invade Nigeria. And what I'm trying to point to is the contradiction, the hypocrisy in President Trump's approach to Nigeria. Now, there are more Christians perhaps in Kuwait. He's not saying there is religious persecution in Kuwait. There are Christians in Hamas, in Gaza. He's not fighting on behalf of the Christian Palestinians. He's supporting Israel. So that's not an issue for him. There are Christians in Lebanon. It's not fighting on their behalf. In all of the countries where America has intervened, you see this contradiction. I think President Biden tried to stay within the framework of the American foreign policy process, but President Trump is emerging as a global dictator, and that is why, not surprisingly, you have on the streets of the United States, no kings here, people protesting. So that dictatorship is extending it. Now, America has always intervened in Africa. In Somalia, between, I think, 2012 and 2014, they exited when it became problematic for them. They wanted to help to ensure peace. America has intervened on humanitarian grounds in Liberia, in Sierra Leone, and all of that. Now you find the United States saying it wants to invade Nigeria. Now, I'm trying to rush my thoughts. Very quickly, an invasion of Nigeria will not be in the interest of Nigeria. And what is the point? It's simply that if America brings drones here, brings, all kinds of things in any part of Nigeria, Nigeria will never be the same, because no country can survive a religious war. We have seen that in other parts of the world, whether it's Afghanistan or, it's in Lebanon. So we cannot even afford that. And that's why I think President Bola Ahmed Tinubu must act swiftly. Acting swiftly, we have a body called Presidential Advisory Council on foreign relations, or is it international relations? Now, we have those people. We have Chief Emeka Anyauku, who is still alive. We have President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, President Olusegun Obasanjo. We have diplomats, experienced people. We have religious leaders. Cardinal Francis Onayeka, Bishop Matthew Kuka, all of these people should be mobilized immediately. And there should be diplomatic engagement for Nigeria to say, no, it is not true. We're having security challenges in Nigeria. After all, there's religious attacks, yes, by Boko Haram, what Trump calls the Islamist state. Yeah, Professor Zulum can confirm that yes, there is attack. But that attack is not just against Christians. All of us are in this pressure cooker lifestyle that we live in Nigeria. And I think President Tinubu struck the right note by saying, look, Nigeria is ready to work with the United States, to help us. After all, terrorism, banditry, being international, cross-border challenge. And the Nigerian government has always been asking for international help, either from the British or the French or the United States or from, regional countries within West Africa. If America invades Nigeria, it's not just only Nigerians that will suffer. The whole of West Africa will be destabilized. Okay, let's go a bit further.
Now to turn far. Ma okuta tó wà ńbẹ̀ ma yọ kúrò ńbẹ̀. Ma sabi gbà tá bá ń sa ẹ̀wà. Now to turn far. Ma okuta tó wà ńbẹ̀ ma yọ kúrò ńbẹ̀. Ma sabi gbà tá bá ń sa ẹ̀wà.
That's the only advice I can give him, because that's what you say is approbating, reprobating. It's blowing hot, it's blowing cold. Okay, Nigeria should be offended, not because Donald Trump tweeted against the killings of the Christians in Nigeria in that sense. You should be offended that it took Donald Trump's tweet to get your government to start talking about the insecurity in Nigeria. And now, if the terrorists are killed, are they saying that if the terrorists are killed in Nigeria, it's going to cause religious war? Or if the terrorists are killed in the name of protecting the Christians, the Muslims are going to start war and start killing Christians? Because I don't understand the logic behind, because they are all kind of like saying the same thing. They will blow hot in how they respond or feel towards what Trump tweeted. Then they will go ahead and say the government needs to do something, the government needs to tighten up. But that one, it's going to be like with this kind of like, respectful voice of, as if to say they are not in the same country with the same government all these years when this whole thing escalated to this level. They have been in that same place and the government has never listened to them. Ever. But just 2 tweets from Donald Trump. Everywhere blur. Everywhere. And right now, it is the insult. It's also right that if America invades Nigeria again, the CPC put on Nigeria. Listen to this. Maybe I should explain that. It is the country of particular concern based on that people have been religiously persecuted. All right. However, it is not an indictment on Nigeria. It is an indictment on your government officials whose job is to protect you as guaranteed in your constitution. You have the constitutional right of, what do you call that thing? Religious freedom. But if you are living in Lagos, it could sound somehow to you that people are being killed and chased away from their community because they are Christians. And that's why most of you are always highly opinionated about this whole thing. Majority of you, 99% of you, have never been to these places. And when you see all these stories, you've never really been moved by these stories. Even the stories of the survivors. You have always like downplayed them because you can't imagine how is that even possible. Because your government wanted to feel like that. As it's not happening in your area, definitely. Maybe it is not that bad. Maybe they are trying. And people are dying every day. So it took 2 tweets from Donald Trump to get them to be doing all these media runs and all of that. They want to have a talk to him. What do you want to tell Trump if you meet him? Why do you have to send delegates to Trump? Why are you not sending delegates to Thiefnubu? People who care about Nigeria, who wanted this one Nigeria, all those your past leaders, how come they don't put themselves together right now and march down to the Aso Rock and say this country is going up in smoke? You are doing a very, very nonsense job. What is going on? Is that not what should be? Why should they go to Trump and tell him? What do you want to go and tell Trump? On one hand, una say America should stay away, the blah, the blah. On the other hand, you want people to go and tell America that, please, Nigeria, or respect Nigeria. I mean, I don't understand. Don't worry, I don't have to. But in America, right, especially the Christian Americans, that I believe there are thousands of them on social media talking about this and the way they felt about Donald Trump's response. They are part of the reasons why some of you are afraid that they are coming to kill the terrorists. No, America is not coming to kill the terrorists. They are coming to invade Nigeria. Okay, invade Nigeria to kill the terrorists. No, that's not the black, But for Americans, it's actually a great news. It's likely going to annoy you more.
Huge update on the Nigeria situation. 3 days ago, I made my video with Judge Saul warning about the terrorists in Nigeria and how the government's turning a blind eye to the slaughter of Christians. 2 days later, Donald Trump does what we were asking for in the video, the first thing we asked for, which is to designate Nigeria as a nation of particular concern. This is an important thing, legally speaking. It allows the gears to turn in other directions as far as in our government. Then today, we get a new announcement, and this is huge. I'm going to read it to you. This is what the president of the U.S. just said officially. He declares this to the Nigerian government. Let me read it to you. This levels things up. You'll hear the rhetoric. It's pretty intense. He says, if the Nigerian government continues to allow the killing of Christians, the USA will immediately stop all aid and assistance to Nigeria and may very well go into that now disgraced country guns a-blazing to completely wipe out the Islamic terrorists who are committing these horrible atrocities, Trump wrote. It goes on. He says, I'm hereby instructing our Department of War to prepare for possible action. If we attack, it will be fast, vicious, and sweet, just like the terrorist thugs attacked our cherished Christians. Warning, the Nigerian government better move fast. Let me just say, the purpose of government is to be a terror to the wicked. and these terrorists should actually be killed. This is the moral and right thing to do. I'm not cringe to say it. As a Christian, I stand on Scripture. I stand on God's word when I say those who are mass murdering should be killed. The government should go in with guns and kill them. That's the right thing for them to do. Now, if they turn themselves in, we should take them through court and do due process and then kill them. But that's the appropriate and right thing. But this will hopefully create pressure. Let's see what happens next. I just want to update you guys because, listen, it was your actions that helped lead to this, I believe.
Yeah, you're going to be like, why is this America? You see those evangelical Americans? You've heard about them, right? Yeah, they are evangelical with guns. They are really, really religious in that sense. Yeah. And those are the ones you will see just relocating to these African countries, sometimes just to go and do this charity missionary job and all of that stuff, because they felt like they needed to connect, Americans. So to them, many of them have been visiting the Middle Belt part of Nigeria. They have visited some of these IDP camps. Many of them have written so many letters to their own representatives in America upon their return back to the country. And Nigeria is a place where sometimes, until something becomes mainstream, you never probably will pay attention to them. So Americans and foreigners visit Nigeria. They visit all of these, people, the survivors of this terrorism. They listen to their stories. Something that your government doesn't give a damn about. If you ask your government to give you the data of all of the displaced people in Nigeria today, they can't give you. You know that they can't give you. They don't care about any survivor. They don't. But when you see some of these foreigners that comes to Nigeria, they actually meet the victims, the real victims. They take their stories, they record them, they document them as much as possible. They take all this data back to their countries for God knows different purposes. And one of them is to pressure their country their own government to do something about what they have found or they saw when they visited these places in Nigeria. Places that even your president, your elected representatives, your selected representatives have chosen never to visit because it is too dangerous. And then they will turn on the camera, on and they will be telling you how great things they are doing, how much they have done now, how much, that stuff. But if America chooses to now come to Nigeria, how is that really going to be like? Arise TV, Arise News, they brought an American journalist or a reporter straight from an American from Washington, D.C. And he gives them the idea if Nigerian government failed to move fast as they have been advised, and Trump gives the go-ahead that they should go on and do, this is what that's going to be like. Watch this.
Good morning. Good morning here in a chilly, rainy Washington, where there was a lot of surprise over the weekend. On Saturday, the President Trump announced that he was potentially going to take strikes within Nigeria to protect Christians there. He then on yesterday, actually reiterated his desire to protect Christians in Nigeria. And so we are beginning to wake up here in Washington with a lot of questions. Will there be U.S. military efforts in Nigeria?
Okay, James. Let me just, for purposes of clarification, is there any action against the groups responsible for sectarian violence, who would by necessity, the necessity for Nigerian intelligence getting assistance as they are so embedded into the country? Don't you think success will be very difficult without this intelligence element?
You're absolutely right. The president has stated his desire to, potentially use military action, but as we all know, it would be very difficult and actually impossible to do any action within Nigeria without the support of Nigerian intelligence. Policy analysts here believe that this is an opportunity for Nigeria to partner with the United States, with the United States Department of War, as it's now called, to try to figure out what could be done jointly sharing of intelligence, sharing of information, sharing of strategies for the U.S. and for Nigeria to partner and to do something together. I think it would be very, very unlikely for the U.S. to move within Nigeria militarily on its own.
Thank you, James. The president's team would, by necessity, need small teams, possibly from a joint task force, Horn of Africa. Don't you think this is the kind of operation they specialize in?
Yes, it is absolutely the operation that the JTF Horn of Africa, which is based in Djibouti, Camp Lemonnier, this is their specialty. I had the really good fortune a few years ago to make one of the first visits by television journalists to that camp. And basically what it has done through the years is to fight insurgencies across the African continent. And these are small strike forces that have gone into countries and really, with the support of the local government, of the local military, of the local intelligence, have been able to sort of put an end to some of these insurgent movements. I think the challenge in this instance is, how would you do that in a country as large as Nigeria, where these incidents are happening in different places, and as you know, in some urban places. And so, yes, there is expertise within the region, but the question is, could it act independently? Could it act without the support of Nigerian intelligence? That seems highly implausible.
So U.S. African Command is based in Germany, and are they officials? Are they aware of this development already, James?
Yeah, they are aware of. Good morning.
So the point there is that the window, right, that could have this whole thing managed well for Thiefnubu, right? The window for Thiefnubu right now is that whenever he manages to break that diplomatic barrier, which currently is said to have been placed like before them, they have not been able to really reach out to Washington on this matter. And every effort seems not to have worked so far. Maybe right now that we are watching this, something is being cooked. Now, the window for Thiefnubu right now to show that he indeed wanted the terrorism to end in Nigeria, and they have been doing their best. It's just that, they have been overwhelmed. It's for them to share the intel they have on these terrorists. For example, hey, here is Damboa Forest. In this Damboa Forest, we have mapped the location of this terrorist here. Okay? But you see, from here to here is about 100 kilometers. We have communities, villages around here that kind of you will see in your map. So if you are going to operate in this terrain, we do not have this so and so, but if you want to operate in this terrain, please consider the civilians in this area. That's how you cooperate in sharing intelligence on the terrorist. So you're already dealing with them, and possibly the Americans have almost everything they need, but they would need you to show that you wanted this to happen. And by the way, then they can do this in a more sort of like amicable, respectful way. All they're asking for is for Nigeria to show that indeed they are not protecting the terrorists. Do you understand? The bone of contention is that they want to know if Nigeria is willing to neutralize these terrorists. And Nigeria says, yes, of course we are. Please, let's do it together. Then you and I may not even have to know much, other than for us to start reading in the news how some of them have been neutralized, killed. At the same time, make APC publish the names of the sponsor of terrorism in Nigeria. They have the names. They have their names. Even us who are not into security and what have you, on social media, right, we do have the names of some of the well-verified, confirmed sponsor of Fulani terrorism, Boko Haram, in Nigeria, and how they have been funding them. thanks to the UAE government. Yes, Dubai. So they published, they forwarded that to Nigeria, Saudi Arabia. These are places where they have published names of a terrorist and terror sponsor. One of them today is the negotiator for the terrorist in Nigeria. His name is Sheikh Osama bin Gumi. Sheikh Osama bin Gumi was a retired Nigeria military captain. Then he ended up as Islamic teacher in Saudi Arabia until the what do you call it, that pants bomber, what is his name again? Abdul Muttalab. You remember Abdul Muttalab? That young man that wore a pants bomber on an airline, American airline, wanted to blow American passenger airline wearing a bomb. And he was radicalized by no other person than Sheikh Osama bin Gumi. Now, this Sheikh Osama bin Gumi is someone who is so prominent enough to know the locations and, the locations of all these terrorists without a map. He knows the routes to them, the short, the long, and the rest of that. Right now, Sheikh Osama bin Gumi is asking the Thiefnubu's government never to have any conversation with Trump. And in fact, the right thing to do now is for Thiefnubu to call the American ambassador to Nigeria and give them 48 hours to leave Nigeria, terminate the relationship with them because of what Trump just did. Saudi Arabia arrested Sheikh Osama bin Gumi, right? He was in prison for 7 months. And the pressure from Nigeria, I'm talking about all this Islamic terrorist sponsor, the behind-the-scenes sponsor, they pressured, and Nigerian government, they pressured Saudi Arabia in order to have Sheikh Osama bin Gumi released from prison. And when he was released, he was banned for life from Saudi Arabia. So, Alaye, they don't ban you for life. What you want to go do for Hajj? Osama bin Gumi decided to go to Hajj this year, 2025, under the under the National Hajj Commission, something, to make it look like he's going on an official trip to Saudi Arabia on an Hajj. He got there, they detained him at the airport, they bundled him back to Nigeria. Saudi Arabia does not want to have anything to do with terror sponsor in this sense, right? But Nigeria is a place where they feel so comfortable. In fact, they threaten government to listen to the terrorists, or else whatever you are suffering right now is going to be a child's play. But somebody once warned us, Sha.
Secondly, Borno, by the then Borno governor, Ali Sharif, he is still roaming the streets freely. Yes. When Yusuf was caught alive, who created it? The ECOMOG. Who created the ECOMOG? We have to look at the root cause in order to find a solution. The root cause of that problem, as we know it today, is Ali Sharif. He used them for his own political machinery. He armed them as his political thugs. He even made one of them a commissioner. But they became too powerful. And they had no option but to try an elimination, which was not possible, and which we are all paying for. The military came in, and they cashed in. And they have turned the Northeast into a cash cow. Military jumbo budgets, unaccounted for. I remember Jonathan was spending 2 billion naira every day on security. But there was no security. Hundreds and thousands of our people were slaughtered. And we also know that the army, more than anything else in Borno and Yobe, have contributed and enforced this so-called terrorism. Terrorism has become a multi-billion-dollar industry. Secondly,
she didn't tell any lie. In 2019, I'm trying to flash back to when Hopeless Uzodinjo became the Supreme Court governor of Owerri. And just like that, the influx of the Fulani terrorism, unknown gunmen into the eastern part of Nigeria was like the floodgate of hell. Oh, places of Dimba. Somebody did say, these names she mentioned, the names I'm mentioning, right? They are very much still prominent people within the APC in that contraption today. But they want you to believe that there is an IPOB that hates themselves so much that, they are now killing people. But that is not the truth. And there was a time that Oplasus Odingba himself said, no, IPOB doesn't have that capacity because they know themselves. Roach ass, Okoroja, that some love to call Okoro Hausa, once told us this too. And there's something I'm going to show you after this.
Governor Hope Uzodinma is going a very wrong direction. That he might not end up well with. For what happened yesterday has simply displayed criminality in governance, yes, thuggery in governance, yes, and is creating unnecessary tension where there's no need for it. Imo today is very unsecure. Yes. For the first time since 9 years. Now, you go to Olu, you see killings in Olu, that even the Air Force fighter jets, for the first time in history after the war, would come round Olu. You see, yesterday alone, 10 houses were burned in Oguta. Every day, people are being killed in this state. People are being...
Oplasus Odingba asked Bokwari to please provide him enough military to go after his own suspected political enemies that will make it impossible for him to spread the goodies of the APC in Imo State. In Oguta, something happened in 2021. That was 2021. And what was that? The Nigerian army, who have been destroying properties across Olu Osu, in the name of looking for the IPOB. I mean, if you are fighting people, maybe they will be shooting you too. But rather, a coordinated military operation that lasted for hours, including that of military aircraft, fighter jet dropping bombs, like dropping bomb on the people of Olu Osu. It was hell. So, what did they do? They said they encountered unknown gunmen, according to them, and then the unknown gunmen escaped. In anger, the Nigerian military, Nigerian soldiers, they burned down every property in their wake. Everything they found they set homes ablaze, they shot people and all of that. This is the story of the Eastern Nigeria. The politicians have done so much to force their own narratives on you. But Nigerian soldiers, Nigerian army, they did this, not terrorists. Nigerian army. It's like they are coming and they said they encountered unknown gunmen. So they kind of like pushed the unknown gunmen back. Then what happened after? In anger, they just burned the properties of everybody in that area. Like terrorists do. Yeah? And that was what gave us the full kind of like evidence of the repentant terrorists they have recruited into the Nigerian army. No sane soldier, no sane military will do this. Their intention is not to provide any security in Eastern Nigeria. Their intention is, in fact, their mission is to aggravate insecurity in the place enough to justify all of the state-sponsored killings that were to happen in eastern part of Nigeria. Listen, Nigerian army, again, did this unprovoked. In all.
Jesus. Hey! Hey! Jesus. Jesus. Hey! Hey! It is God Almighty. It is what's shop. Oh my God. Hey! Hey!
Come and see what I've done. Belly, I made a mistake. She will go for 9. I made a mistake. She will go for 9. Hope. Hope I made a mistake. She will go for 9. Look at what I've done in our junction. Everywhere is ablaze. Hope I lazy email. Hope I lazy email. Look at people's house on fire.
Yes! Don't go closer to the police station for explosion.
Look at it. Look at it. Hope you're a bastard. Hope I'm taking on my swear. Hope I'm taking on my hope. Look at people's house.
Hope you're a bastard!
I'm not going to hope on my. I'm not going to hope on my. I'm not going to hope on my. Look, imagine. Nigeria army and Abel Obodo be set everywhere ablaze. So what happened? Nigeria army, watch I numere. Watch ya. Everywhere is ablaze. Ledini. Ledu londe mother balokun. Which can go for Kaimon and Obodo? A lot of Obodo. Ogoban official has a problem. If I am maybe say Bagadi fish, I want a problem. Look at people's house. Look at Nigeria army. Hello? Look at it.
I mean, they have spent so much money. You just saw that, right? They've spent so much money to convince you that the reasons why the eastern part of Nigeria is unsafe was because Nnamdi Kanu is asking for Biafra. They said Nnamdi Kanu has radicalized the young people of eastern Nigeria, and that is why the Nigerian soldiers, the Nigerian government, they got provoked that they have to create the scene of violence, of war, on the same people they are supposed to. I mean, I do ask myself, by the way, like, as an average Nigerian soldier, right, if they post you to eastern Nigeria, do you always feel like you are going there to a strange land as a Nigerian soldier? Do you go, when they post you to eastern Nigeria, do you automatically feel like you are going to a different country, a strange land? Because that's the way I see it. They just see everybody as IPOB. They see everybody as those who want Biafra. Nobody is spared. There is no professional, nothing. They go there like they are going there to fight combatant enemies. And I don't understand. I don't. Like, as a soldier, I believe that professionally, when somebody, if you are not really shot at, or if you don't see that somebody is holding a weapon, there's no point in you getting mad and killing them. So they did that 4 years ago and more, even worse. Villagers who are there in their own quiet communities, they will suddenly start hearing gunshots. These are not terrorists, though, Nigerian soldiers. They will start burning their properties. They will start. It was so hot, so terrible, that the Nigerian media that are supposed to be reporting this whole thing, they were in on it. Because it's all IPOB. Because they were telling the people that they are killing them because they are supporting IPOB. They want them to renounce them. They want them to come out and say, I hate IPOB. Just like the same thing they did during the Civil War that caused so many people to deny that they are Igbos today in Nigeria, united Nigeria, ununited Nigeria. If you tell yourselves the truth. The criminal politicians who are the brain behind the entire criminality, the terrorism and all of that, they are behind the killings of their own people. All they needed is just to put up a scheme and target the cause, the reason why they are doing it. Because they want to protect you. Yeah, we need to protect all of you. We are doing our best. All these people, we are killing them because we want to protect you. But logically, they can't really protect you. You know, fortunately. In Lagos, people who have, who have worked all their lives to become property owners, legitimately, they came under the attacks of the land grabbers who have the state government's connection. But before we get to that, I want to quickly remind us, if this is the first time of watching Mayegun and you probably love what you have heard so far, you can subscribe to my channel, by the way, and to the rest of you are the Templars. So we call this place the Temple of Truth, and others are already calling it the Temple of Undiluted Truth, Temple of Undiluted Truth, TOUT. But majority will kind of stick to the TOT, Temple of Truth. So it can be uncomfortable truth, undiluted as well. So if you feel comfortable today and you still want more, subscribe. So dear Templars, with this number, we should have more than this offering, which is the like. So please like the broadcast if you haven't already. Yeah, please. And then share it. So before I go to Lagos, Werewike was on the channels this evening, still pretty much on this issue of insecurity that has prompted the American government to, threaten to act. So Werewike, it is maybe some politicians who are taking politics out of context and all of that, that they're ready to burn Nigeria again, not them taking responsibility, right? So I want to touch that before we go to Lagos. There's also an Arewa part of it too, because the Arewa are also pushing, Arewa Consultative Forum. They are pushing for a national, sort of like a unity, so that we can show to America that we love ourselves. I may get to that if the time permits. So please like the broadcast. Currently, for the past hour, we have been over 2,000 of us on YouTube. So the number should be more than what we have now. So please take a moment. Please, let's take the likes now to maybe 1,000 if we can. And you only need to like it once, okay? And also, let me tell you about Lagos. We can continue about these stories of the reactions of the Nigerian political class and their hirelings on the Donald Trump's promise. Because I'm thinking we could possibly take calls as well. Like people can react to this just before we call it a night, right? So let's go to Lagos. Yeah, people who struggled all their lives to own properties had all this, taken away from them without a penny in compensation. So they've been protesting. They rejected the offer of peanut, and they want the state government to give them justice. But rather than get justice, they have been faced with more violence. Violence proudly sponsored by the Nigerian police. Okay, people have been shot at severally. Some of them have been arrested. As much as some of these people have also lost their health, while few have died too. In all of this, Lagos State government kept saying that they are not aware, they are not involved. The land grabbers, the land grabbers as well as the Oba of the area, they are still enjoying their, their power. However, Omoyele Sowore, who promised the people of Oworo, that won't be the first time that they are facing these same challenges. This is not the first time they are demolishing their houses in that place. So the demolition continues. It's just this is now. So Sowore and the Take It Back have always been out there pushing, the voice of these people for to get justice. It is unlikely they will get one, but for the record, in a country where those who promise to be serving you turned around to point their guns at you, is no other than a failed country. Oworo. Today, and even Omoyele Sowore that escaped unhurt. However, he got declared wanted afterward. Police just declared him wanted in a very much lawless zoo.
Jẹ́ kó wá ṣe hàn wá lónìí. A ò lè máa kú sínú ilé. Àwọn ọmọ wa ti kú. Àwọn aboyún ti kú. Àwọn bàbá wa ń kú. Àwọn ìyá wa ń kú. A ṣetán láti kú sínú ilé mọ́. Àwa tún ṣetán láti bọ́ síta. Àsìkò táwa yìí. Olùrẹ́sìt ẹ má fòṣì lọ̀ wá mọ́ a ò ní gbà ẹ jẹ́ kó loud ẹ má fòṣì lọ̀ wá mọ́ a ò ní gbà ẹ ṣe. Lásìkò yìí.
Here we are. The Lagos State Police have started tear gassing us, and we will continue resisting, and we will mount our property. The Lagos State government cannot intimidate us. We will resist every intimidator, every form of intimidation. We have a court order, a court injunction that says that this demolition is illegal. We will resist any form of oppression. We will resist. You can see the Lagos State government are shooting us tear gas. We are peaceful protesters. They are tear gassing us. This is what the Lagos State government are doing, right? No problem, no problem, no problem. You can see we don't have government. We don't have government.
This is someone who báwo lè ṣẹlẹ̀.
Ọmọ tí a ga sí mi mo jókòó sí.
Nínú ilé àbí. Nǹkan náà wá síta for protest àbí. Look at his face, come close.
Mo kàn jókòó ni mo kàn gbọ́ gbà.
Look at his face o, look at his face. Ẹ wo camera. Look at his face o. Just in his room o, in his compound.
For my compound o.
In his compound, you can see this is live at Oworo. He didn't even join the protest, so he does not even know what's going on out there. You can see his face.
Welcome to the North Korea of Africa, where Tinubu is your own supreme leader. Prior to the arrival of Omoyele Sowore, that's what prompted the police to mobilize their own officers in order to stop the protest. Go back home, but we don't have home anymore. Go back to your state. We are from Lagos State. Okay. Just go and find any other under bridge. Anybody, just leave this place. Don't complain anymore. When Sowore landed, it was the same fire. But again, he managed to escape or not because they intended to possibly really hurt him. Watch this video.
We're in Oworo today, and the police is already attacking the victims of demolition. Did they arrest everybody? Yeah, okay. They packed all these people in Black Maria. Sit down. Ready to kill people who they have demolished their houses. Very sad. Very sad. Folks were just coming from Urushoki. But by the time we got there, the police had attacked peaceful protesters whom they demolished their houses in Urushoki area of Lagos. And I think they had intelligence that I was approaching the place. As you see captured, they were just tear gassing them, and they brought in more reinforcement. All of them were carrying lethal weapons. This is what we're talking about Nigeria at this time. The police that ought to be protecting the citizens of Nigeria are busy chasing after and attacking innocent civilians, people who they don't build houses for, people they do nothing for. They're attacking them, and this is what you just watched live on my timeline now. So we couldn't enter the community. The whole place is barricaded. These are some of the demolitions that they've carried out, and they relate to homes of poor people. This is where the poor people have managed to run after the rich people drove them away from Makoko and other places. We were told that the IGP, the illegal IGP, actually embedded in the police team today people who could shoot and kill me if I showed up, but I still went there regardless. This is intelligence I had. So right now we'll be monitoring events as they're happening, and time permitting we'll return back to that community. We must fight for these people and ensure that they get what is theirs back. We cannot leave this country in the hands of criminals to keep exploiting the poor. That is what got us into where we are today. That is what led to what America decided could be their intervention, because they've seen weak and terrible leadership in Nigeria. They know that these guys don't mean well for Nigerians, but that doesn't mean that America mean well for Nigerians. They're just taking advantage of the weakness in the leaders. Some of them have encouraged, because if you look at it, the same Americans come here, witness shambolic elections. They go and hold their press conferences in DC and say, well, the elections are not that good, but they're not that. These are the elections that produce these weak and inhuman leaders in our country. We must ensure that we fight these people to a standstill. That's my position, that you do not ask for outside help each time you have a small problem. That is what led a lot of Africans into religion. They're always praying to something. They're always worshiping. Each time there's a problem, you go and worship something. Worship a stone. Worship, the picture of a foreign god, or, a religion that you know nothing about. And I'm not here to attack your freedom of worship or religion, but I'm telling you that it's part of our weakness. And when the people you're expecting to come and help you from nowhere don't come, you start looking for help. You're always looking for help. That's the problem with Africans. Instead of us to stand up against our traducers here, fight them to a standstill. Oh, we want America to come in. America will come in, shoot a few places, drop a few bombs, drones, and that's all, right? That's all. We move on again. And then maybe next time we're going to beg Russia to come and help us. We're going to beg China to come, North Korea to come and help us. But nobody but ourselves can free ourselves. And that is what you just saying. A community of poor people. These guys have nothing, not a cloth on their back. All the police, Nigeria police does is to chase after them on behalf of private investors. Private investors, those are the people who are stealing their land.
I'm highly disappointed of Nigerian government because the Nigerian government we are highly disappointed in them due to foreseen circumstances. Definitely, I'm one of those people are proving people should die in coronavirus is more better than people should die in hungers. Hunger kills more than coronavirus because some people are less privileged. Due to foreseen circumstances that I said it, some people are less privileged, which they are based on daily bail, which are not even based on salaries. But our government thinks that the lockdown is the best solution to coronavirus, and proving it to an extent and to the levels of alacrity that if someone die in coronavirus, it's more efficient to die in longer. Because some people will be at indoor. There's no a way to make a home.
Thank you. Sure. I mean, when you talk about people standing up, for instance, Sure has been standing up against these guys for over 30 years of his life. He's still doing it even when he's in his 50s. And guess what? We are still asking people to stand up and join and stand up and all of that. But people can't. Or they just won't. What is that thing that will likely motivate them to collectively face these rogues like Sowore proposes? You know, because everyone, the only thing that is evenly distributed in Nigeria today, right, is the shege. The shege that these criminals are unleashing on everyone is like equal. Depends on possibly your body size. You know what I mean? So the shege affects everybody equally in a different kind of like settings every day. An unjust system is not just going to deal with those who are criticizing it. It also deals with those who are even enabling it, supporting it. Their policies are anti-human. The greed of these criminals, right, is so much, right, that Sowore proposes and said the only way that people can lead a normal life in that contraption is when you join hands to stop feeding the greedy and start feeding or tending the needy. In the case of Nigeria, 147 million Nigerians are falling into what they call the multi-dimensional poverty. Do you want me to explain what is multi-dimensional poverty to you briefly? Sure, I will. Now, multi-dimensional poverty is something that, you know, a lot of you, ordinarily when you hear the word poverty, is the lack, the wretchedness, the, dirty, lack of food and all of that stuff. But multi-dimensional poverty is more than that. It is described as the level of poverty where people have no access to stable electricity. You have no access to motorable roads. You have no access to quality education. You have no access to quality health care. You have no access, right? I mean, you are suffering insecurity. Now, if you take a look at all of this, you realize that a chunk number of Nigerians falls into this category. And that is why I better pass my neighbor seems to be something. If the government failed to provide electricity, get a generator. If they fail to provide clean water, drinkable water, dig your own borehole. If they fail to provide you security, mount a very tall fence, electric fence, and a gigantic gate, plus some strong burglary proofs that makes your house look like a fancy prison. Rather than face them to make you feel safe enough that you do not have to lock yourself up like prisoners or even walk about because they fail to provide security, then you hire your own private mopos that will be carrying guns behind you so as to protect you from becoming a victim of the failed government. In that sense, you are giving yourself some sense of, some sense of fulfillment, sense of success in the face of poverty, in the face of dilapidated infrastructures, in the face of decaying healthcare infrastructure, including healthcare, including education, dwindling quality of education due to the policies and the greed of these criminals. You know, if they are not going to provide quality education, right, then you go and hire or send your children to the best and private schools that could provide them that quality education, while millions of others are left to devour the rag rubbish that they are feeding them, the indoctrination to make them believe that, success comes from somewhere. No matter how hardworking they are, they must still remember that, except they are blessed by this sky daddy, something that makes them feel so dependent on superstition. If you take a look at the whole thing, right, you realize that a chunk of us are living in multi-dimensional poverty, but we only just make ourselves feel better when we say, at least I better pass my neighbor. At least I have a car. I'm driving a 30 million naira car on a dusty, unmotorable road. Well, what do you want me to do? I'll just go and buy a Jeep, the one that is good for Nigerian road. What is Nigerian road? Yeah, there is a Nigerian road. And the big men, rather than everybody go together and say, you must do this, you must fix this, or there will be wahala, they will rather just improvise. No security, hire your own security. No quality education, send your children to private schools. Terrible healthcare system for public, go private. Yeah? This area is so unsecure. Move to the secure one and build yourself a fancy prison. And you don't have to bother. There's no electricity. Get yourself the biggest mechano generator. The one that is switching itself off and on. And say, we don't even use we don't use NEPA anymore. We no longer use no. I am off grid. That is the country that these guys have bestowed on you. It is not a place to be proud. That's why we said, you see, every Nigerian is like a local government chairman or woman on his own. When you provide all of these things for yourself, right? You are a local government chairman or woman yourself. So it won't make any sense for you to now brag or beat your chest like an imp, right? Beat your chest and say you are a proud Nigerian. Say, are you sure you are not a proud idiot? Pun intended, and no apology. Okay, just so you know that if you reason all these things together, you are likely going to agree with me. Immediately, Omoyele Sowore escaped the assassination attempt on his life by the Nigerian police because he's, sympathizing with the victims of the illegal demolition by the land grabbers in Lagos State, a whole Lagos State, and the government of Lagos State just pretended not to know up to this moment. Now, the police said he is declaring Omoyele Sowore wanted. How? As how now?
You should report at the nearest police station. I hereby, as the Commissioner of Police, Lagos State Police Command, declare Sowore wanted. I declare him wanted for the act of causing disturbance of public peace and an act to commit serious felony by planning and putting all the plan in motion to obstruct traffic on the Tommy Lamley, to cause hardship for Lagosians and other Nigerians, and especially visitors who are transiting through this end. We will not allow this to happen. These are the equipment, and we ensure that we are closing in on him anywhere he is. He should be aware that we are closing on him. Willant is doing video, and he couldn't come down. Let him come down. He came down in Abuja. Why is he afraid to come down in Lagos? He should come down. He should come down. Wherever he is, he should report himself to the nearest police station. Because I'm going to arrest him and investigate him and prosecute him. Thank you. We have made 13 arrests of this miscreant and hoodlum because there's no any reason why this protest must take place. The people who are concerned, who are residents of Obodosoki, have been paid compensation by government for those who deserve, who are entitled rather to the compensation they deserve. And the people have remained in peace and they've been living in peace in the community. But it's coming to Lagos to instigate crisis, to instigate violence will not be tolerated. And I want all Lagosians to still go about their lawful businesses without any fear or pressure. Let him come down, let him put his leg on ground. He's riding in a vehicle and he's making video that police have covered everywhere and he can't come down. It's the same way police cover everywhere that I came down in Abuja. Let him come down here and you will see the wrath of the law that will equally be enforced.
Nuisance lele. Nuisance lele.
That is the Commissioner of Police in Lagos. It's unfortunate, you know, it is, because that is the reality of Nigerians in the hands of these, you know, these criminals themselves. Who do you want to run to? Who is going to investigate? Who is going to help you? Normally they will say, I've reported to the police and the police have filed a case and all of that. And, you know, that is not the case of Nigeria. They are always above the law. The law doesn't apply to them. And that's the madness that is also going on in PDP. I know I have thought we were like going to take calls, right? But it's over the time to take calls. So let me just add this last one. Yeah. Right. So the PDP were supposed to have their own convention so that they will elected their national executives. And you know they have been in this mess for a while now, right? So yesterday, there were a series of suspensions flying everywhere. First, it was the Damagons faction, Sheyi Makinde, the Solo Makinde Ibadan, that first suspended the group believed to be loyal to Werewike. At the moment the Werewike's men got the wind of that, they granted their own press interview, press release, by debunking that suspension and then announcing their own set of suspensions, in which the national chairman was suspended, among others. Again, they also took theirs even further by taking over the PDP secretariat with a brand new national chairman acting. So the drama took place in the Awadata house today. They eventually gained entrance, but first, outside when the old drama started, in which another guy has been announced, like I said, as their chairman now. So right now, PDP have 2 chairmen, and the drama has not even started yet.
Chairman of our great party, the PDP, just arrived the national headquarters. And before he proceeds to his office, he wants to address the press. All right.
As a new chairman, according to them. And indeed, he was led to his office where Ayahu, the guy that was suspended by the other faction, is their national secretary. So he was there, still as national secretary to the new acting one. So right now, it's official that they've gone rogue. And they have already written the INEC, Thiefnubu's INEC, to recognize them. And Solo Makinde and others, they are not PDP people. So, they are new acting chairman. So you know that that's going to be another drama tonight or tomorrow. But the one for today, PDP.
PDP want to speak. The National Secretary of our distinguished Samuel Ayang, the members of the working committee that are there, the executive committee of the party, the state chairmen of various state chapters, and zonal officers that are there. Men that are here with us. Good morning, all.
Good morning. I'm up.
Thank you very much. What to help us out, thanking Almighty.
Make us save on distress. Let me replace that with something else. So that's the drama about the PDP. So you expect the follow-up tomorrow and the one after, and then after. Yeah. As much as this Americans' interest in the killings in Nigeria seems to be taking every inch of the Kolu and this gang as we speak, well, they are still doing politics. In Bayelsa, a few days ago, their governor resigned from PDP, Diri Dioye. However, it took his time to, not like others, to announce where he was going. But everybody knew where he would be ending, right? Where he was headed. So it was APC, Egbekegbe. And today, they held what they call the biggest rally. As Diri promised Thiefnubu 99% of the Bayelsa and Ijaw vote in 2027 as he officially joins them today. So that is a good place to end, right? Now watch this.
We, as Ijaw people, I was an activist, National Organizing Secretary of Ijaw National Congress. Long in the military regime, we requested for a coastal road from Lagos to Calabar. Where are those documents? I speak with documents. Bring those documents. Listen, memorandum on the demands by the Ijaw ethnic nationality submitted to the head of state, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, General Abdulsalami Abubakar, by the Ijaw National Congress. Number 1, Agri Road, Port Harcourt, Rivers State. And the major demand here was the construction of the coastal road from Lagos to Calabar. Today, we have a president that is now attending to the demand of the Ijaw people. Eyes on.
Yeah.
Eyes on.
Yeah.
I don't care how much the coastal road will cost. I don't care, but a president has come to realize that this coastal road is important to the people of the coastal area, majority of whom are Ijaw people. Are we going to leave that type of man? Every other person in Bayelsa. So on the 15th, I announced my resignation from the People's Democratic Party. And I ended up by saying, for obvious reasons. Now today you will hear some of those obvious reasons. Eyes on.
Yeah.
Eyes on.
Yeah.
Excellency the Vice President, here you see it's not just Bayelsans alone. There are Ijaws from Delta State in their numbers who are here. There are Ijaws from Ondo State in their numbers here. There are Ijaws from Edo State in their numbers here. This defection is not a Bayelsa defection. It is his own nation defecting to APC. Thank you. Now,
that's good luck. Jolantan's estate. Bayelsa State is meant to be one of the richest estates in Nigeria. A state that produces over 250,000 barrels of crude oil daily. Its contribution to Nigeria's crude production. And a state that, makes so much money that when you walk through the states, you have no other probably like other thing than to curse these rogues with what they have done with that state. But of course, politics, the highest employer of labor. So politics is booming, even if other things are not. Abi, Akwabiole.
Things are getting better for Nigeria. Things are getting better. For Asiwaju is on the throne. Things are getting better. Things are getting better. Things are getting better. Mr. President, things are getting better. Hey, I said, things are getting better for Nigeria. For Nigeria is on the way. Progressive government. Things are getting better. Asiwaju, congratulations. Things are
getting better, he said. So thank you very much, everyone, again, for another wonderful evening. I believe you had a great time. If you did, please like the broadcast before you leave, all right? And if you haven't really subscribed onto Mayegun's Diary Political, this is the best time to do that, all right? So thank you so much. And I am going to see you another time. Enjoy the rest of your evening, okay? You have a great week.
Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun Diary, Mayegun number one. Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun Diary, Mayegun number one. Mayegun ti dé o, ọ̀rẹ́ ará ìlú. Mayegun Diary, Mayegun number one. Lórí Facebook, lórí YouTube. Mayegun Diary, Mayegun number one. Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Mayegun já wa sí. Mayegun Diary, Mayegun number one. Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o. Mayegun Diary, Mayegun number one. Bó bá ṣe eré àní Mayegun máa wí. Mayegun Diary, Mayegun number one. Ó sì tún ṣe eré wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o. Mayegun Diary, Mayegun number one. Mayegun Diary, Diary Political. Mayegun Diary, Mayegun number one. Godfatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Mayegun. Mayegun Diary, Mayegun number one. Ẹ farabalẹ̀ sẹ́ o kẹgọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu o. Mayegun Diary, Mayegun number one. Àní Mayegun làwa mọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun Diary, Mayegun number one. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Mayegun ti dé. Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Lórí Facebook. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Lórí YouTube. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Bọ́ bàbá gbé wúrẹ́. Mayegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Ijó ìgbádìyẹ. Mayegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Bí pẹ̀sìdó bá rúfin o. Mayegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Bí gómìnà kówó jẹ. Mayegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Ọlọ́pàá tí ń darí bá. Mayegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Aṣòfin tí ń rúfin o. Mayegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Òpùrọ́ olóṣèlú. Mayegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran o.
Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ o Máyégún ó sọ pé wọ́n ò fẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀. Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ Máyégún ó sọ pé wọ́n ò fẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀. Oníkanṣá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe fáwọn ará ìlú tó gbé wọn débẹ̀ o.
Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Kì máa yí ṣe eré ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. Kì máa yí ṣe eré ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. Ẹni bá ti lè lẹ́bọ̀ lẹ́rù o ọmọ bá dèrò kàṣàyè tú wọn síta.
Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Tẹnitẹni ọmọ Máyégún ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni mo fọlọ́run ṣọ́ ẹ̀ bá kìlẹ́bù. Lóòótọ́ olódodo ìlú ọ̀tá ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni ìwọ ṣá máa ń ṣọ́ra kò sì mọ́ bẹ̀rù. Bọ́tà ń lè rí bóníṣègùn lé káwọn mọ̀mọ́ fi ṣera wọn ni ó ti dẹrùn tí wọn ò gbọ́dọ̀ sì mọ́ bẹ̀. Èèpo ọ̀gọ̀ lọmọ bá dérò tàjẹ́ ò gbọ́dọ̀ jẹ́ ó ti jọba lórí àbínú ẹni kò sì mọ́ bùyà. Àìsíwọ̀lú ní ẹnìkẹ́ ìgbódì ẹyin lábàrá o ó kó ẹni tó bá dán wò á kàmù. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì o. Ẹni bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran o.
Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.